a sole supporting parent of 2 young children. She quit her job and returned to university at Brock University as a mature student. After earning a bachelor's degree, After earning a bachelor's degree, she went on to earn a master's degree from UBC in adult education. After graduation, she found herself unemployed without any prospects. She thought there would be a job when she got her degree, which was a pretty normal thing to think, but wasn't the case. So back to a hand-to-mouth existence, watching every penny with a student loan to pay off. She did what she had to do and joined the gig community, creating public programs such as Cyber Seniors, various seminars and workshops. That eventually led to several significant corporate training gigs. Until one day out of the blue, I remember this day. A dean from Lambton College asked her to meet for coffee and offered Karen her first college teaching position. This opened the doors for teaching and curriculum development at Seneca and Sioux colleges, followed quickly by positions from Brock University and her dream job at Sheridan College teaching creativity. Her career at Sheridan took off after the Dean of Humanities dropped into one of her programs for a 15-minute review and stayed for the entire class. She was marveling how much fun it was and how many people from her original class are still there, because usually it drops off badly. Not this one. People loved her classes. She is living the dream. She's living her dream. I'd like to now present Karen.
I think Dawn is more moved by my story than I am. For me, it was just life. Just do what you have to do. I'm just going to set my timer here so I don't go over the time.
Move the mic closer to your mouth.
You betcha. Now, you're going to have to forgive me. I am used to walking around the room. I mingle all over the place. And I also teach mostly first semester, and you're a little bit older than my first semester students, so I hope this resonates with you. So as Dawn said, I teach my dream job. I teach creativity at Sheridan College, which is known for their creative programs. And I just love it. The best thing in the world is I teach them to look at the world differently. And that's really my goal. I have different ways of doing it, different curriculum to follow, but at the end of the day, I want them to think about things differently. So one of the things that comes up in creativity is procrastination. So I'm going to teach you today how you can be a little bit more creative by procrastinating. So who's the procrastinators in the room? All right, loud and proud. All right. Okay, so that was a lot of hands. Who is not a procrastinator? All right. Oh, we got one. Yeah, you're brave for putting up your hand. They could, they could have attacked. So procrastinators, what are people always telling you about procrastination? It's bad. Stop doing it. Anything else? Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Yes. Forever. Oh, you're one of those procrastinators. Okay. All right. Yeah.
A little twist on that. Don't put off today what you could. Don't put off till tomorrow what you could do today, because if you do it today and enjoy it, you can do it again tomorrow.
Okay. Or you could put it off till tomorrow and keep doing that and just have fun today.
One more.
Yeah.
Put off today, because tomorrow you might not even have to do it.
Yeah. Somebody is going to get so sick of your procrastination, they're just going to go ahead and finish that up for you. All right. I was always told just need to do a little bit every day and just chip away at it, and that is how you're going to get done. That's the only way you're going to be successful. And I was like, yeah, that's not how I work. It's not how I work. So let me tell you a quick story. When I went back to school as an adult, one of my very first professors, he was telling us, first semester, he was telling us how to write essays. And I was like, okay, so I'm listening to him, and I thought, all right, I haven't done this school thing since 1988, so maybe he's got some wisdom. And he said, so you need to do just a little bit every day, maybe research one article a day, and then just keep doing it and keep doing it. Well, I have huge memory problems, so I thought, I think that's going to be hard. And he said, no, that's the only way. He said, if you're going to procrastinate, you will never be successful in university. I guess he knows, okay. So I did a little bit every day, little bit, oftentimes forgot what I did the day before, redid it, but I chipped away at it. The assignment was due Sunday night, and I was going away that weekend, and so I had it done by probably Friday, and it was awful. It was awful. It was mediocre at best. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll go away for the weekend, and I'll just, I'll deal with it when I come home. Going away for the weekend, I had a great time. On the way home, I thought of a great idea. I went home and I rewrote the whole paper, and I submitted it. And my feedback a few days later was, see, I told you. This is an excellent paper. I scored somewhere, mid-90s. He's like, this is awesome. See, I told you that I was right. This is what you need to do. And I emailed him back and I said, oh, yeah, I wrote that essay. I said, yeah, I wrote that in a couple hours last night before it was due. He's like, what? And I said, do you want to read your version? And I submitted it to him, and he got back to me and he said, oh, yeah, that was about a 60 paper. And I said, yeah. So instead of you being the teacher, let me be your teacher for a moment. That might be the way that you're successful, but don't make me use your method to be successful when I have my own. And he never told me to do a little bit at a time every day ever since. So the people who aren't procrastinators tend to think that they have all the knowledge and all the know-how and their way is best. And they're full of it. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and procrastination, if used properly, is not a bad thing. So, what if I told you that procrastination can be, if used correctly, a time management system, a priority management system, and a creative incubation period? It's a very, very good method and model to follow. And you're already a procrastinator, so you're probably already really good at this. So first, let's look at procrastination as a time management and priority system. I know the people out there that aren't procrastinators, they're like, how is she going to pull this off? All right, so there are two different kinds of procrastinators. I'll explain them and then you can self-identify. All right, so there are what I call the idle procrastinators. So these are the people that don't want to do that great big important thing. They're dead set against it. They're not going to do it. I'm just going to put that off. They do nothing. They might lie on the couch and scroll on their phone, which is nothing productive, or they might sleep it off, and they just do nothing in place of doing something. Those I call idle procrastinators. We don't like those ones. Then there are structured procrastinators. Now, what structured procrastinators do is they are still avoiding that great big important thing. But in the meantime, so they don't feel guilty, they start doing smaller tasks that actually need to be done, like perhaps walking the dog, creating your Halloween costume in June, weeding the garden, anything like that, that all of a sudden becomes priority. I remember midnight, all of a sudden I had to bake cookies. I think my children need cookies. I've got to bake cookies, the most important thing in the world. Whenever I was out gardening, my friend said, so you have an essay due, eh? You betcha. So Structured procrastination is not doing nothing. It's doing a whole bunch of other tasks of very low value, but still meaningful, in place of the great big important thing. So structured procrastinators do marginally useful things like sharpening pencils, baking cookies, weeding the garden. They do other less important things to do. They do less important stuff to avoid doing that great big important thing. A lot of structured procrastinators need a deadline. If I did not have a deadline, nothing would ever, and I mean ever, get done. So I rely on that deadline adrenaline in order to focus and get her done. And I don't think I'm alone. So, quick show of hands. Who is the idle procrastinators? All right. You're my pet project now, the two of you. All right, so let's have a look at how structured procrastination really works. So generally, we make a list of things to do. At the top of the list is that great big important thing, okay? Next is that slightly less important thing, and then even less important things, because if you make a to-do list, you always have the thing you need to do most at the top, and it descends in order. So, wow, that great big thing is a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. I don't think I'm really ready for that. So instead of doing that great big important thing, we need to avoid that. We need to avoid that at all costs. Okay? So in the meantime, what we do is all of the things at the bottom of the list. Okay? The things that maybe don't have a time limit, they kind of need to be done, but I get around to it, but all of a sudden they take on urgent importance and we have to do them. So we start from the bottom of the list and we go up. Then what happens is enough time has passed now and that big important thing is due. So I teach students, so I always say, that's your big assignment, right? They're all, yeah. Okay, so now all of a sudden we've got that project to a critical point. Time is running out, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. What happens then? Your adrenaline goes up. You're like, I gotta get that adrenaline done. And adrenaline is a really cool thing because it helps you focus. It can give you laser sharp focus. So now we've got a deadline. Oh crap, I gotta get that done. And now I have the focus to do it. And I'll whip it off, get her done. I used to have it in approximately 17 minutes before it was due was my average. So, but we got her done. All right, whew. Let's tick that big baby off that list. Now, your slightly less important thing becomes the great big important thing because now it's at the top of the list. And what do we need to do? Avoid it, right. We need to avoid it. So we start doing a whole bunch of stuff from the bottom of the list. Now, keep in mind that these things actually need to be done. They're just not very important. But we're actually really, really productive as a way to deal with the guilt that all those people who aren't procrastinators told us that we should feel guilty for not doing it step by step and you're doing it wrong. So now the top of the list becomes the priority. We have to avoid it. We start doing the other things. Then what happens? That gets to a critical point and now we have to do it. So it's a continuous loop, which in my life is a time management system. I have everything listed on what I need to do, when they're due, and I can feel that adrenaline building up. All right, bingo, I've got enough adrenaline to do that. I also have ADHD, which you need a lot of adrenaline to get stuff done. All right, so this continues and continues and continues. Everything gets done, plus a whole bunch of other stuff gets done. So structured procrastination or structured procrastinators are actually really productive people. Just not necessarily where they're supposed to be productive, but they get a lot of stuff done. So that shows you as an example of using procrastination as a time management. So you know when you have stuff coming up, you know when you got to get there, and it's a priority management system. Do low priority things in lieu of the big project. For me, I'm always worried, oh, I got to make an appointment for my son. I got to go pick up some scripts. I got to do this. I've got to get that into the PowerPoint. I've got to get this PowerPoint done. I need to go get my tires changed. I need to do this. I need to do that. I can't concentrate when I have that many things done on my mind. And I can't manage all of those things. So part of my procrastination is doing all of those little admin things, making that appointment, going, making the appointment for the tires, setting this up, getting that done, getting this done. Now I have nothing else on my mind, and I've got the focus to do it. And I can go into laser focus. I can work on something for like 10 hours straight, not pee, not drink, not eat, nothing, and then look up and say, oh, why is it dark out? Oh, because I haven't moved. Okay? But if I have all those little things in my mind, I'm constantly distracted. I'm constantly writing myself a little sticky note reminder or putting it on my calendar. So for me, it really works as a priority management system and a focus system. But let's look at it in the creative incubation period. So first of all, let me give you just the 101 creativity for dummies. Look at how the creative process works. So this is what the 4 stages of the creative process. This is basically what's going on in your head when you're being creative. So preparation is the first step. So preparation, you've done some research, you've gathered some data. In the context of being a student, you've read the assignment, you know what you need to do, you've maybe gathered some information from the course content, you've done a little bit of research. Okay, you might have some prior experience or knowledge about that topic, so you write that all down. Then you walk away. You just walk away from it. Because what happens is that incubation period, it marinates in your head, okay? Your brain is thinking about it unconsciously. So why would we use our conscious thought when our unconscious can do all the work for us, right? Because we tend to be a little bit lazy. So underneath the conscious level, all of that information that you just put together, your brain is mixing and matching it. It's sorting it. It's saying, oh, would this idea work with this idea? Maybe you could do this presentation a little differently. Maybe would this work, would this work, would this work? And it constantly stirs the pot of all of the stuff that you did in the preparation stage. And then it gets a good idea and it pops it into the conscious brain. So we have those aha moments, right? Anybody get that aha moment, all of a sudden the idea comes to them? Where does it come to you when you get it? Does it come to, like at random times? Like you've been working really hard at your desk, you can't figure it out, and then you go out and you weed the garden, you're like, oh, wow, bingo, I got the idea. Okay, they seem like they're random, but they're not. It's your unconscious has finally found the right mixture and it's popped it into your conscious brain that shows up as an aha moment and you're like, wow, that came out of the blue, this is awesome, I got it. Okay, so that's what the illumination is this idea coming into your mind. Now the verification, you could call that elaboration and trial and error. Now you take that and you put it into action. Because ideas in your head don't matter until they're put into action. So now you're going to put it out there, you're going to try it, you're going to use a little bit of iteration, you might get some feedback, you're going to make adjustments, and boom, she is done. She is done. So out of those 4 steps, if you do the preparation and then walk away, the illumination will come and then you can put it into action. So let's look at that incubation period, because that's really where that procrastination comes, okay? So you walk away, you let your unconscious brain do all the thinking. One of the girls that I went to school with throughout my undergrad, we used to bounce ideas off each other, and she would say, let me think about it. I do my best thinking when I'm sleeping. And she would literally the next morning, before I even woke up, there'd be a message on my phone and she'd say, I have a great idea for you. Because it happened. She did do her best thinking when she was sleeping. So some of the things that you need to do in that incubation period is change your location. Get out of the same 4 walls that you are in. If you are stuck on what you're doing or you just can't muster up the energy to work, change locations. Even if you just go into another room. the best room to go is outside because there are no walls. The ideas are limitless, but change your location, okay? I always say staring at the same computer screen is not going to give you any new ideas. Walk around, do something, go somewhere different, and stop consciously thinking of your work. Go out, just do other things. So let's look at what kind of things we can do. The best one is to do a low cognitive task. Cognitive means thinking, so do a low thinking task. Okay, some examples are doing the dishes. That's all muscle memory by this age, right? You're just looking out the window or the sink and you're washing dishes. You know, it kind of lets you daydream a bit. You kind of like you mull things around. All right, what else have I got up there? Wash the dishes, do some house cleaning. Maybe plant that garden or go weed that garden. If you add some physical exercise into that low thinking, that even works better. All right, do something physical. Physical activity gets all of the chemicals in your body moving, and it helps that thought process. So go canoeing, go outside, work out, go to the gym, dance. I always dance while I house clean with loud music on, and a lot of the time that's where my ideas come from. All right, or do something that you enjoy, right? Don't go and do more work that's going to stress you out. What you want to do in creativity is you want to bring your stress level down. You do your best thinking when you're not stressed out, okay? So if you enjoy baking, go bake that pie. Just take an hour and go bake that pie. It'll be well worth it. You know, play your music, do your Rubik's Cube, do a puzzle, do whatever makes you happy and get your mindset in the right frame of mind. And even better, do something creative. Being creative, it has healing power as well as all kinds of other benefits. It helps stress, it helps your mental health, it helps your physical health, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, it makes you creative, open-minded, and willing to take risks that you might not otherwise be willing to. Because generally, if it's a creative hobby, it's a very low risk. It doesn't matter if you fail the first time, you just throw that material out and start again. Okay, so doing something creative, draw, paint, woodwork, anything where you are creating something out of nothing will help spark all of your great ideas, even ones not related to that. The other one is take a shower. Believe it or not, 72% of people say their best ideas come to them in the shower. Now that is 100% true for me. I get into the shower, and it's like it's open to the universe. All of a sudden there's this hole and everything just comes to me in the shower. Most of the time I can't remember half of it by the time I'm done, but I have the best ideas in the shower. When I was in school, if I got stuck creatively, my friend used to say, go have a shower. 9 times out of 10, that idea came to me. There were times at the end of the semester when I had so much on the go, I would literally get in the shower 3 times a day. Whenever I was stuck, I'd get in there and I'd just relax. It's a very low stimulating environment. It's very relaxing. There's not a whole lot to look at. Your brain just eases, and it's easier for that unconscious thought to pop through. So the next time that you are stuck, or you're discouraged, or you don't want to do that great big thing that's on the top of your list, learn to make crepes. Go to the gym for a workout, or ride a bike. Do something physical. Do that home repair that you've been wanting to do for 12 years, because all of a sudden that could be really, really important right now. And take some time off. Go out for dinner with a friend. Don't think about it. Just have a conversation. Chances are something they say might spark that idea. Or, like I do, go have a shower. So, all of those things are helping you through that creative incubation period. You've already done a little bit of preparation. Now, if you don't do that preparation, then those ideas aren't going to come to you because your brain doesn't know what you're supposed to be thinking about. But if you do that first step, a little bit of preparation, and then you walk away, procrastinate about, I can't finish that project now today. I'll finish that project next week. In all of that time, your brain is unconsciously thinking how to solve that problem or how to do that great big thing. So that is how procrastination can be both a time management and a priority system, as well as a creative incubation period. Studies have actually shown that people who procrastinate are more creative. And for me, that's important. I teach creativity. I have to be a role model to my students and procrastinate. I'm often telling them that your slides were done last night at 2 a.m. And they're all like, oh, what do you mean? You're the teacher. I say, yeah, but it works for me. So often my students say that their parents, their teachers, their boss, anybody, and for your age, perhaps your spouse is telling you not to procrastinate. It's bad, don't do it, don't put off to today or tomorrow what you could do today. So the next time they say something negative to you, you tell them, I'm not procrastinating, I'm incubating. Thank you very much.